Right.
Gear up.
Hello, I am still alive. Sorry, lack of content the last few weeks, month. Had a really busy time, holiday, and then just loads of stuff, work piling up. But getting back to the content, I want to show you this. Here she is, my lightning. Now, as you can see, she's really come along really well recently. It has flown twice now. First flight, I'll put a bit of video up now. It was really tail heavy. I used the bungee to take off because turbines really hate grass. Got it flying and it flew really well, really smooth and responsive, but I could tell it was really tail heavy and the landing was quite rough, as you can see. But been working on how I can streamline the aircraft a bit better. Also, when it landed, it broke the radar cone in the nose. So this is the radar cone, and this is the arm here. Now on the original one, it was all one piece, and it was quite thin, so they only used like 2 walls printed, and not a lot of infill. So when it landed, there's quite a lot of weight. Well, there's not that much weight, but there's a lot of weight compared to the arm. And when it went down, it shocked it, and it just cracked it off. So I thought, right, I'm going to do something better than that. So I've now done the radar cone individual, and the arm is printed in TPU, just so it can allow a bit of shock. Trouble is, I'm finding that it's a bit too wobbly in flight, and I think it's getting stuck over to one side when the air's getting forced through the intake. So what I've done is I've printed a new full radar cone with arm with 3 layers, 3 wall thicknesses and a little bit more infill so it's stronger. But I've also done one like this. So this is a 3D profile of the radar cone. So it looks exactly like it should be from the side, but from head on you can see it's 3D. This is just a little experiment I want to try. We're going to go up on Friday to try this again and show a bit of footage in a minute of that. I'm trying different things with getting more airflow through the aircraft fuselage into the turbines, because as with many models, EDFs, they really struggle to breathe properly, especially when I've got 2 64mm in here. With the radar cone in the nose, it's barely got enough intake for 1, let alone 2. So on the first flight it was just as it was, but after the first flight I 3D printed these gills in the front, just under the wing, both sides. So just cheat events to let more air through. On my second flight that worked really well. Unfortunately I haven't got any footage of that because I went up on my own. But it worked really well and it was a lot more efficient in the air and a lot cleaner, but I still want to just get as much air through it as I can because it's not as high a potential for speed at the minute as I want it to be. It's cruising around half to 2/3 throttle, so I just want to get it moving smoother. Another thing I've done is I've taken an old household iron, and a covering iron would do the same job, and what I've done is I've run it along the leading edges of the wing, because where they joined they were pretty much 2 foam board thicknesses thick, so it wasn't giving a nice clean airfoil shape. So I've run the iron gently along the edge, and what it does is it just gently melts the foam underneath the paper, just tapers it down nicely, and when it cools down it re-glues itself back to the paper, so it gives a nice smooth sharp edge. So I've done that on both leading edges. I've removed the flaps from the back of the wings because I don't think I'm going to use them. I didn't use them on either of my 2 test flights, and to be honest, coming into land you can get it on a nice high alpha and the whole aeroplane's like an air brake, so it slows down nicely. And I don't know what the flaps will do in flight. I mean, it flies great as is, and I don't want it to do something silly when I put the flaps on. So I've removed the servos, closed the back of the wing up because it was open, so that might have been causing turbulence. So I've closed it up and then ironed the rear edge as well, just to let the air come off the wing as clean as possible. Just trying to streamline the aircraft like the real thing, get it to slice through the air nice and cleanly, breathe as much as it can, just to give us that high-end performance. Another thing I learnt from the first flight is I was running the RC system on a 3S 1600 milliamp LiPo, and the two EDS were linked onto one 4S 4000. I was hoping that was going to be adequate because I was just trying to keep the weight down, but it only gave me a maximum of 2 minutes flight time, which really is not enough. I know to be honest, it's pretty scale for what the Lightning was, because it could, on reheat, the Lightning could empty its entire fuel tank in just over 6 minutes, which is insane. So what I did is I took away the LiPo for running the system, and I've just now got two 4000s in line with each other along the belly of the fuselage. One is running one fan and the system, the other one is running the other fan. Now, I think I mentioned this, but this is in the big Lightning video that will be coming up soon. I bought braked wheel units for the undercarriage on the Lightning, just because it really needs it to stop it, and they worked really well. But they worked on the first flight to help stop it, but I started realising that they're so heavy. It made the aircraft so heavy. The aircraft's all up weight at that point, with one 4000 and the 1600 running the system, with the brake wheel units on as well. The whole aircraft weighed 3 kilos, which is a lot more than I'd anticipated it to be. So what I did is I took off the brake wheel units and I weighed them, and between them they were just over 300 grams between them. So that was a massive weight loss, because these wheels, ironically, are the ones that came with the struts when I picked them up at a second-hand model show. They're about 10 grams, so that's nothing compared to what they were. The other problem with the brake wheel units with the undercarriage goes back, it was shifting the centre of gravity quite dramatically. Now it's causing a lot of problems. So now it's barely affecting it, which is perfect. So I've lost a lot of weight on the wheels, where unfortunately I've added a little bit of weight with the two 4000s rather than one. But it's just compromises. You've got to get compromised. I've got to get the flight time up, and I estimated after I landed on my second flight that I'm getting roughly nearly 4 minutes flight time now, which is pretty good. I mean, the Hunter's about 4 to 5 minutes. My Zephyr jet glider is 4 minutes maximum, so it's on par for all of them. So I'm happy with that. That's long enough for a flight. So that's where we are with the Lightning at the minute. So in a couple of days we're going to be heading back up to EasyFly's airfield, and we're going to be doing a couple more test runs, trying different radar cones and seeing how well that works, and hopefully that will work better. And I'm really hoping this closed up, sharpened, razor edged leading edge is going to make a lot of improvement as well. So we'll see you when we're up there.
Mid rates, low rates, high rates.
You good? Alright.
Gear up.
Oh, that's much better.
Low rates.
Landing's fun, but coming in at 50 odd mile an hour. Well, it's got a lot more power than the last one. I'm not surprised. Don't know yet. whatever it can manage. I'm aiming around 100 mile an hour once it's all fettled out. Yeah, I mean it's cruising just over half throttle. I'll bring around and bring it in, so if you want to step back, so.
30 seconds. Gear down.
Whoa. Yeah. Oh, I'll take that. It glides a lot better than I think it ever will. And it never stops. I'll take that as a success. Took off, got it all trimmed out, flew around a bit, landed. Happy days. Oh, well, that's all the testing done. So, cleaning up the leading edge, worked a treat, made it more slippery, putting the batteries back in line with each other. It's helped aerodynamics. Everything's working. Really good. I wasn't sure about the radar cone like I talked about earlier, but that had the full radar cone rather than the 3D one. Seemed to work fine, so I'm happy with that, and it looks more realistic. So now I can get on with designing a underbelly fuel tank to cover up the batteries, which will also help with aerodynamics again, and then we can get on with paint. Really exciting, happy to move on with it now. If you catch us in the next video, we'll hopefully be getting on to either the fuel tank or painting and working out a paint scheme.